Hello and welcome to today's live. President Trump does not remember promising to issue a $2,000 stimulus check. This is breaking news, and if you've been paying attention, you know the president has been talking about this for almost a year. Now he's claiming that he never made a promise to issue a $2,000 stimulus check. I'm going to get into the details about this, and Social Security is making changes that is going to disrupt services for millions of Americans. And this is something that you need to pay attention to, especially because it's going to affect how they deliver services to you. And finally, what is the average Social Security benefit? I tried to cover this yesterday, but I didn't have time. So I want to bring it back today. How does the benefit that you get compare to the average? And most importantly, at the age at which you collect Social Security, are you below or above what everybody is getting? I'm going to talk about that next. And as usual, I'm going to have a question and answer session where I'm going to answer your questions on Social Security and other retirement questions. So if you have a specific question you want to ask me, go into the comments right now and type in your question, because I'll be going through periodically through the comment section in this live and answer your question right now. I can highlight it on the screen and provide you an answer to your pressing question. So stay tuned for that. And as part of this agenda, yesterday, if you missed my live, I shared important information about 21 great jobs for seniors and retirees. So if you didn't watch my live yesterday, go and watch it after you have finished today's live, because this particular deep dive is going to show you 21 jobs that are stress free, that are exciting, that seniors and retirees can do in order to earn extra money, which is a question that I've been getting a lot. So I did a deep dive into that. So check out that video and watch till the end, because I'm going to give you an opportunity to win a $100 Amazon gift card by answering an important survey that I'm trying to collect data on. So that is the introduction. Let's dive in. President Trump does not remember making a promise to issue $2,000 stimulus checks. And this is shocking, because if you've been paying attention to the news over the last 6 months specifically, the president has been nonstop promoting this stimulus. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to share with you the specific article where the president was asked about an update on the stimulus, and he does not remember making that promise. And then I am going to show you the receipts, because I have them. I'm going to walk you through where this whole stimulus idea started and how the president has been consistently promoting this $2,000 check and keeping people's hopes high. And then now he's denying that he ever made the promise. So let me go to the article that highlighted this so that you can see where I am getting my information from. So it says that US President Trump, I want to make sure that you can see this on the screen. It says US President Trump faced flack over the impact of his tariffs on the economy. He claimed that the revenue generated from them would be spent on 2,000 payers to Americans. Over the past couple of months, Trump has made different announcements about the stimulus checks, even as his tariffs face legal scrutiny. However, the president has seemingly forgotten that he has made such statements about the payout. According to a report by Mediate, Trump asked when he promised such a thing when pressed on the $2,000 check by reporters. An audio recording of the moment was posted on X, and he said, "You promised 2,000 checks to Americans based off of your tariff revenues." One of the reporters will be heard asking, and the president said, "I did? When did I do that?" The president was heard asking in response to the question. He went on about how he was able to give checks to the military personnel. He said, "Yeah, I am thinking, well, I did 1,776 for the military." The president was then asked again about the 2,000 checks for American citizens. "Well, I am going to, the tariff money is so substantial that's coming in that I'll be able to do 2,000 sometime, I would say towards the end of the year. And they have the audio right there that I can click on and play it. But I'm not going to get into that. I think we get the point because the receipt is there. They have an audio of the president saying he doesn't remember when he said that. So let's dig a little bit into this because I know you have opinions about this. So let me hear what you think about this. But I'm going to walk you through the history of how this all started and why the president cannot claim that he doesn't remember. So it was back in July 2025 when the president was heard on CNBC, I believe, saying that he wanted to give a $600 stimulus to Americans. That prompted U.S. Senator Josh Hawley to introduce what he called the American Worker Rebate Act, legislation that would send rebate checks to working Americans following the historic revenue accrued through President Trump's tax policy. Not only that, guys, Josh Hawley went ahead and also drafted legislation that he submitted to the Senate based on the president's promise to send stimulus checks. And in this legislation, which I am showing you right now, it was indicated that the stimulus is going to be just like it was during the pandemic, so that seniors on Social Security and disability will also be eligible for this stimulus check. So that was back in July last year, and that is the legislation that was submitted in the US Senate. And then a few months later, the president was back in the news. This time around, he was increasing the amount of the check. So here it says that President Trump, right? Trump 2000 payment latest update. If not good news, if you're wanting it. So you can see starting in November, the president started shifting the date and the amount. So here it is. Donald Trump said he wants to send Americans $2,000 dividend generated by the revenues from tariffs. Details on the payments are scarce. Trump said the payments will go out to moderate and middle income people. No details are provided as to the cutoff range. No timeline was given either, other than the president saying that he will probably, here's the key part. So here's the news he made back in November. He will probably send the stimulus out in the middle of 2026. So that was what I reported on, that stimulus are coming in by the middle of this year. So that's what you've been hearing me talk about. And then back in December, after the government shut down, the president was back in the news again, this time with a new date and more update on the stimulus. So let's see if I have that for you. Here we go. So wait a second. No, that's not it. So he was back in the news again with a new timeline. And so I came back and reported on that, saying that, okay, this is what we have right now. The president is making new promises about the stimulus check. And here it is. So that was November 11th. It says stimulus check, who would qualify for Trump's 2000 tariff payment. And so here again, the president was saying that he wants to send the stimulus out. He's committed to sending it. And then they give out some details. Income limits for the payment were $150,000 for families and $112,000 for individuals and head of household. So this has been in the news for a while. So it is very surprising. Okay, where did my screen go? It is very surprising that the president is now saying that he does not remember making this promise, because it's been very much in the news for a while now. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about this particular development where the president is now saying that he doesn't remember when he made that promise? Because this is a promise that was just not something that was made once and forgotten. He's been consistently talking about it. So my speculation is that there are two things that are happening that may be making the president have cold feet about the stimulus. And I'll share with you my opinion, and then you can share with me what you think is going on. The first one is there's a Supreme Court case that is trying to determine the legality of the tariffs themselves. And the Supreme Court is looking at the fact that does the president have the authority to issue the tariffs? And when they did the argument, when the case was argued before the Supreme Court, it did not look good for the administration. So the president may be anticipating that the tariffs are going to be stricken down, that the Supreme Court may reject his authority to issue or impose tariffs. And if that happens, then they will have to give the money back. It's plain and simple. And there's a lot of businesses that have started suing the administration, trying to get their tariff money back. So I'm going to find businesses that have sued, including Costco, the administration, for to get their tariff revenue back. Basically, they're saying they don't think the president has the authority to do that, and so they are suing the administration to anticipate that the administration is going to lose in court. So I'm going to share some of that with you so they can see that this is actually happening. So here's an article. It says companies line up with lawsuits for tariff refunds. So companies are already anticipating that the president is going to lose in court, and so they are lining up with lawsuits so that they can be the first in line to get their money. And this is the money that the president wants to give as tariff revenue in terms of stimulus. And so that is the first reason why I think the whole stimulus thing might be something he's getting a cold feet about. The second reason, probably the most important reason, is that the president has promised a lot of things he wants to do with the tariff revenue. He wants to pay down the debt. He wants to also, he's giving some to the military. Apparently, the money that he paid to the military over the holidays was from the tariff revenue. And it's going to cost $600 billion in order to send everybody $2,000 in stimulus. And the president has only collected, at best, $200 billion. So there's a $400 billion gap between what he wants to do and how much the tariffs have brought in. And he hasn't talked about how he's going to get that in addition to sending a $600 billion stimulus and then paying down the debt. It's impossible to do all of those things. So my suspicion is that the stimulus is going to be a hard thing to do, not because he doesn't want to do it, but it's because he doesn't have the money to do it. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, because a lot of you have had questions about that. So before I move any further, if you want to stay on top of all of this, there's so much news happening right now. If you want to be updated regularly, join thousands of people that are getting text messages from me, 1 or 2 text messages a week, by joining my text list at 443-293-0080. That's the number you see on your screen. Text the word insider to 443-293-0080. You will be added to my text list and you start receiving regular critical updates. Again, I am going to have a Q&A section today answering your questions. So if you have any questions, particularly about Social Security or other retirement questions, go right now into the comments and put the question there, and then I'll highlight it on the screen and then answer your question. So the next thing I want to talk about is changes that the Social Security Administration is making that is going to change a lot of how you interact with the Social Security Administration. Now, a little bit of background here. The Social Security Administration is stretched thin right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, more people are collecting benefits than ever. And number two, the Social Security Administration, from a staffing perspective, is at an all-time low. In addition, they have made some technological changes that have not panned out the way they expected. And so those technological changes have made things much, much more difficult for people who want to access services, especially seniors that were able to do certain things over the phone. Now are realizing that that is not possible. They said the website was going to be available, the Social Security website was going to be available 24/7. They haven't gotten there yet. And so if you go to the Social Security website and the website is down or you cannot access it whenever you want, that is partly because the technology has not been upgraded to be able to do that. And so now they are making more changes, and that's what I want to talk to you about, because these changes affect how you interact with the Social Security Administration, how services are delivered to you. And that is an important thing for you to know before you call or visit the Social Security Administration. So it says that a slimmed down workforce will handle cases on a nationwide basis. What does that mean for the 75 million beneficiaries? Now, before I get into any detail about this, have you recently contacted the Social Security Administration, and what has been your experience? I want you to share that in the comment section, and I'll highlight some of the answers on the screen. So let's read a little bit of it. It says Social Security Administration will overhaul its workforce to accumulate a slimmed down workforce. Remember, when Doge came in and Elon Musk and his team, they fired a lot of people, and now they don't have the right amount of staffing that can do the work that is required to do for an administration that was already short staffed. Doge made it worse. And so now they're going to have a slimmed down workforce to handle its cases on a nationwide basis, as opposed to addressing beneficiaries' cases locally. So they are centralizing things that could lead to further service disruption. As an agency that handles benefits for 75 million Americans, the change, which will come in about 2 months, could lead to delays in services, such as employees are forced to learn the nuances of different state laws that could impact benefits. Rather than working on original silos, each of the 1,200 local field offices will soon manage benefits nationally. The plan change comes after much upheaval at the agency. In the past year, the Social Security Administration has cut 12% of its workforce, about 7,000 jobs, closed down regional offices, replaced top leadership, and changed its phone customer system. It has also encouraged beneficiaries to use online services, even as some older adults and people with disability have had access issues. So that is kind of like a catalog of what has happened in the Social Security Administration, and this is going to make it worse. So the question you're probably asking yourself is, how does this affect you? Well, there are things that you may want to do online, like change your address, change payment information, make inquiries about payments that you are receiving or have not received. If you are applying for benefits or updating stuff with the Social Security Administration, reporting your income, all those things are ways that people interact with the Social Security Administration. And now that is going to get more difficult because they are short-staffed, and the staff that they have now are not going to be dealing with local issues. They are going to be dealing with national cases. So you may call your local office and they may not be able to help you because they are overwhelmed by things that they've been given to work that does not belong to their state or their area or region of expertise. And now they have to learn to serve a national audience. So the article goes on further to talk about, what is happening with this. I'm going to share a few of those with you, and then we can move on. So some of it is corporate speak, but I think it's important for you to understand, because this is how they hide the details, and then we find out later what it actually means. So here is one area that caught my attention. It says, for decades, our 1250 field offices have operated as independent mini SSAs. That model no longer serves the public or our people. It prevents true specialization, limits the impact of technology, and produces backlogs we should not sustain. When asked about the change, the Social Security Administration said field offices are and will always remain our front line. However, the changes being made will empower field offices to focus on what they do best, resolving customer needs, leveraging our national scale, improve workflow, and modern technology. We will shift our strategy to match the customer's evolving preference. But here's the big thing. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for this. If you talk to seniors who have been calling Social Security, I have not heard anybody tell me that they've had a much, much improved experience in the last 12 months. It has gotten worse. And by removing the ability of a local Social Security office to deal with their local population and nationalizing the offices, is going to create confusion, because your case, you may live in one state and then they may tell you there's somebody in another state handling your paperwork, or you may be routed to somebody in another state. It's all confusing. So if I get details about this that can help you better interact with the Social Security Administration, I am going to let you know. But I want to hear from you in the comments, and I'm going to review comments and see how what you guys are putting in there. So let's see here. Yeah, here's one. So here's another. Here's a case. This is Sally. Sally Barton. I have one which is experience. I have the Social Security app. However, when I log in, the verification goes to my old phone number. No one can straighten it out. I called and was even at the SS office. So yeah, your experience is not unique, because a lot of people report the same thing when they try to get help. Nobody can help them. And here's one thing that I have learned when it comes to Social Security that I want to share with you. So currently, when it comes to the Social Security Administration, here is the frustration that a lot of seniors face. First is the fact that when they call the Social Security Administration, it is hard to get one straight answer. If you call and speak to three different people, you're going to get three different answers. And those different answers does not lead you to a solution of your problem. It only creates confusion. And if you want to try it, you should test it. Call the Social Security Administration about your issue and talk to one person, and then call again and talk to another person. They'll give you a completely different answer, and do it again. And you'll get three completely different answers from people who are supposed to be experts that are working. And here's the thing, I don't blame the Social Security employees. It is because, number one, they are overwhelmed. And number two, some of them are poorly trained. They don't get enough training. And so they are giving you information based on what they've been trained on, but it does not address your unique situation. So, you have to be patient, but you also have to be persistent, because you may not get the answer the first time around, and you have to keep calling to get to arrive at the correct answer or the solution to the problem that you are experiencing. So next, I want to go into questions before I go into the third issue I wanted to share with you. But let's do some Q&As right now. So the third topic I wanted to cover was this, but let's talk about some Q&A before we go any further. So if you want to ask a question, go into the comments, let me know. There are questions that have already come in, and I have done the research, and I can answer those questions for you. For those who already sent in their questions, I have answers for you. But if you have a question you want to ask, you still have the opportunity to be able to do that. So let me bring in the first question while we look at this. So this is Curtis. I am going to share that on the screen, and then we are going to read it together, and then I'll answer his question. So here is the question. It says, I am Curtis, 66, and my wife passed away last year. I'm sorry to hear that. She worked for the state and had a public pension while I worked in the private sector. Can I receive survivor benefits, and does her government pension affect what I get? Well, here's the thing. Yes, you may qualify for survivor benefits, Curtis. However, you know, um, previously you may trigger what they call the GPO, and that GPO reduces your survivor benefits by 2/3 of your pension. However, because of the Social Security Fairness Act, which was implemented last year, the GPO may not affect you. So you may be able to get your entire survivor benefit even with the government pension. So you may be able to get both if you are eligible. So what I would do is call the Social Security Administration and let them know that you are eligible for survivor benefits, but you also have a private sector, um, you have a government pension, and as I mentioned, because of the Social Security Fairness Act, this may not affect you. Let's see. Uh, Here's a compliment that just came in. Your site is such a lifesaver for all of us seniors. It's very informative. Thank you for your service. And this is from Yvette. Thank you for your compliment. We appreciate that, and we appreciate you watching our channel. Again, guys, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll be happy to answer it. And so I'm moving on to the second question that I have received. This is from Anya, and she said, I am Anya, 68. I just became a legal guardian to my 12-year-old nephew after my sister passed away. My nephew has special needs and will likely need support into adulthood. Can he get Social Security now? And what happens when he turns 18? Well, so this is a very unique situation. And so right now, your nephew is possibly eligible for survivor benefits or SSI benefits, depending on your case. And then at 18, adult disability rules apply. And so most likely at 18, you may not be eligible. But what you can do is that um, there is a long-term plan. Basically, when it comes to survivor benefits, you can get it early. So at age 12, you may be able to get it all the way up to age 18. And so this is something that you have to consult the Social Security Administration. Now, if your sister was eligible for Social Security, that is also another factor in the equation. And so that may trigger a higher benefits for your nephew. So I will reach out to the Social Security Administration and let them know your situation. Here's Walt. I've never worked outside the home. My wife's already 67 and just started her Social Security. We are also raising our 13-year-old granddaughter after our daughter is passing. Can I get spousal benefit? And is there any way to boost our family's total Social Security income? Now, so this question has three parts. And so let's dig into it. So the first part of this is that, you are eligible for 50%, up to 50% of survival benefits, right? Up to 50% of survival benefits. And if you get the benefits as your full retirement age, you get the entire amount. But actually, it means survivor benefits. Spousal benefits is up to 50%. Survival benefit is up to 100%, as long as you are eligible by age. And so your 13-year-old granddaughter's situation can be handled completely differently from yours. And so you are dealing with two different situations. What you get and what your granddaughter gets is going to be completely different. So here again, this is a case that a Social Security caseworker can help you with, but your survival benefits and your nephews are going to be completely different. Now I'm looking into the comments, and let's see. So here I see something about gas. Gas went from 20 to 225. I don't know what that is about. How can they give even up with billions to Minnesota fraud, but can give Americans 2,000 measly? So I like to stay away from the deep political stuff. But the point here is that the president did promise to send a $2,000 stimulus, and he's changing his mind about it. And so, in my opinion, we need to just remind him that that is something he tried and promised, and a lot of people took him at his word. And now, changing his mind about it is going to, be a disappointment to a lot of people. So that is what I think about it regarding that. Let's see here. I would like to know about these cards saying you can get $1,400 to buy groceries, medicine over the counter, and bills at any of them are a scam. So, when it comes to Medicare, if you are referring to Medicare groceries, those grocery cards are Medicare Advantage grocery cards that were part of certain Medicare Advantage plans that are right now being phased out. And so, depending on the particular Medicare Advantage plans that you have, there may be some benefits. There were some that have gym membership, grocery cards, and from this year, the Medicare plans that went in January this year, a lot of them have been pared back. So it's going to depend on your specific Medicare Advantage plan and the particular promises that were made to you. Now, there is a lot of scams that are going on, promising people a lot of things, especially regarding Medicare, because it is easy to dangle these things in front of people because a lot of people know that Medicare Advantage plans have been offering grocery cards. And even though they are being taken away, scammers are using that as leverage to get people to give them information so that they can steal your benefits. So if you get something in the mail that says grocery cards or promising you money, especially $1,400, that's a lot. I don't think a Medicare plan is going to promise you $1,400, especially when Social Security checks, some of them are not even that much. So I would reach out to the Medicare plan directly to find out how much, if any, they are promising in grocery cards. I'm assuming that that's what you mean. So the last issue I wanted to talk about before I do that, let's talk about Medicare. Since we are on the topic, let's talk about Medicare. So here's the deal. So if you've been paying attention, I have been trying to um, work with 100,000 seniors, right, to help you get peace of mind about Medicare. And I said 100,000 because that is the number we're going for. So in 2026, we want to help 100,000 seniors sort out their Medicare issues and get peace of mind about Medicare. So how are we trying to do that? Well, it is through connecting you with the right support and benefit. Now, here is what's happening with Medicare when it comes to that. So things are getting expensive, especially with plans. And if you feel at the end of the month that your Medicare plan is eating a lot into your Social Security check so that you don't have enough money to be able to pay for groceries, you don't have enough money to be able to do all the other things that you have obligation to do, pay your bills, then you are not alone because plans are getting expensive. And here is another thing. Even when you've done everything right and gotten yourself into a plan you think fits your needs, Medicare plans are dropping doctors. So your favorite doctor, after you've signed up for a plan, you may find out that your doctor has been dropped or the hospitals that you prefer has been dropped from the plan. This is happening a lot. And even on the Medicare Advantage website, if you go to medicare.gov and use their directory to find the right plan for you, there are errors in there. So people are finding out later that the plan that they sign up for does not meet their needs or the doctor that they want to see is not there anymore. And so that leaves you with a void. And so what are we doing about it? Well, we want to find you an unbiased Medicare advisory company that is not going to push a particular plan, but is going to take into consideration your doctor, your specific needs, medication, your budget, and review your plan and see if you are in the right plan for you and answer any questions that you may have. And so we have partnered with Chapter Medicare. Their information is in the description and in the comments. And as I mentioned, I want to help 100,000 seniors get peace of mind about Medicare. What do I mean by that? Well, for me, peace of mind means that you have reviewed your plan and are sure that the plan that you're in meets your needs. And that includes the specific doctors and hospitals and medications and all that that you need for your plan and fits your budget. And so Chapter has been able to save seniors on average $1,100 in medical care. And so give them a call today, 539-205-2147. As I said, they are not pushing a specific plan. They are there to review and answer your questions regarding Medicare. And the best part is that the call is only 20 minutes. And here's what I tell a lot of people. You have earned your Social Security, worked 35, 40, 50 years to earn Social Security. You owe it to yourself to make sure that the Medicare plan that you're on, is not taking more than it needs to out of your Social Security check. And Chapter is able to help you figure that out. So give them a call today, 539-205-2147. Over 5,000 of our viewers have called them to achieve that peace of mind that I'm talking about. You could be next. And I'll put their information in the comments and in the description. And if you want them to call you, then there's a form you can fill out in the description to this video. Askchapter.org/insider, and they'll give you a call and help answer your questions about Medicare. So let's go to the third topic that I wanted to talk to you about today. And that has to do with the average Social Security benefit. Now, why is this important? Well, a lot of people are unsure whether their benefit is up to par with what the average benefit is at a specific age. Are you getting the average benefit for your age? Or are you getting more? Or are you getting less? How do you know? Well, the Social Security Administration releases the report on where this is. So we're going to review that together. So in 2026, if you are retiring at age 62, what is the average Social Security benefit? Well, at age 62, which is the earliest point at which you can receive Social Security benefits, according to the Social Security Administration, the average 62-year-old retired worker was receiving about $1,377 per month. So let's talk about this. If you may know that 62 years is the earliest you can receive Social Security benefits. And there's a lot of pressure on people to make a decision about whether you want to start early and receive your benefits early, or you want to wait till age 65, or you want to wait till your full retirement age to claim Social Security benefits. And one of the metrics that you need to look at is, when it comes to Social Security at 62, how much is the average benefit right now in 2026? Well, it turns out that the Social Security Administration has released that data, and that number is $1,377. And with the 2.8% cost of living adjustment that was just released, that number then goes to $1,416 per month, or $17,000 per year. Now, keep in mind that people who get Social Security at age 62 are losing 30% of what they would have received had they waited until their full retirement age. So, in short, the average Social Security benefit at age 62 is $17,000, or $1,416 a month in 2026. So let's go to the next one. The next one is Social Security. The next age, Social Security at age 67. Now, you may know that age 67 is the new full retirement age for those born after 1960 or later. And so, if you want to know what that number is, here is what you're dealing with. So, at age 67, what is the average Social Security benefit in 2026? Well, according to the Social Security Administration, that number is $1,963. And after applying the 2.8% COLA, it is $2,018 per month, or $24,200. And remember, actually, at age 67 or your full retirement age, you get 100% of what you are eligible for. So now let's compare how this stacks up against age 62. Remember, we said that age 62 you're getting 17,000. Age 67 you're getting 24,000. There is a good $7,000 difference between those who waited till their full retirement age and those who are collecting at age 62. Now, I am not making a judgment about what is right and what is wrong, or what is optimum and what is not. I'm just reporting that those who waited until their full retirement age at age 67 or 66 and change are getting $7,000 more a year. That is a significant gap versus those who are getting benefits at age 62. Do what you want to do with that information. I thought it was very important to share. And then the next age group is age 70. What is the average Social Security benefit for age 70? Well, here is the thing. At age 70, everybody has to claim their Social Security benefits. So, at age 70, you have to claim your benefits. And so, what is the average Social Security benefit that people who waited until age 70 are collecting? Well, according to the Social Security Administration, somebody at age 70 in 2026 is getting $2,188 per month before COLA is added. Once the 2.8% COLA is added, it rises to $2,229, or $27,000. So essentially, somebody that waited until age 70 to collect their Social Security in 2026 is getting a whopping $10,000 more a year than somebody that is collecting early at age 62. You can see that that's a significant gap. And so that's something to keep in mind, because Social Security benefits can be collected at age 62 all the way to age 70. The longer you wait, the more money you get. Now, obviously, there's many factors that go into why people claim benefits early and benefits late. And so your situation may be unique, and whatever drove you to make your decision is valid. And so, but I wanted to share with you what the average numbers look like. And so, lastly, I want to share with you our survey that I have been working on, that I want you guys to help me with. It's a survey that we are collecting data to help highlight the stories of seniors. So if you want to participate in this survey and get an opportunity to win $100 gift card, Amazon gift card, then go into the comments or the description. There's a link at the bottom. You will see a link. Click on it, and it's a very quick survey. And part of that is that we ask you to share your thoughts on what you want Congress to know about how you are living in retirement, and what Congress can do to help you live a better retirement. So go into the comments or in the description, especially the description to this video. Once we're done with the video, we're going to put the link in the comments, but you'll be able to fill it out and enter a chance to win the gift card, $100 Amazon gift card. Now, one of the exciting things that we have implemented this year, that we've launched actually, is our Senior First magazine. And I am excited to share that with you. This is a project we've been working on for quite a while now, and finally we have released it. This is our first edition, the first edition of the Senior First magazine, and it is packed with goodies that will help you maximize your retirement. You can get a digital copy of it. The digital copy is $2.99, so it is priced at a very low, affordable price for everybody to be able to get it. You can get that. We are going to put the link in the comments and in the description. You can download it right away. But here's the thing, there's even a better offer, because some of you have been saying, well, why can't we get the digital copy for free? Sorry, let me pull myself back. Why can't we get it for free? Well, there is another way by which you can get um, the the magazine for free, and that is by joining our community. Our Senior First community is a community that we have launched that helps you um, minimize your stress and maximize your retirement benefits. And so let me tell you how this community works and what you get with it. So you get daily briefings with me on a weekly basis about what is happening in retirement. You get a free copy of the magazine. Every time we release our Senior First magazine, you get a free copy as part of being part of this community. And then there's exclusive videos. I am working on 100 videos on the most asked Social Security questions. Is going to be part of this community. You get all that for free. Monthly money saving tips and senior discounts, step-by-step resource guides. I'm going to share what that looks like, live Q&As, and more. Here's the thing. Here's how you join. You can go to www.school.com/senior first. The link is going to be in the description and in the comments. But here's what it looks like. Here's an example of the daily briefing where I am informing you about what is happening in the Social Security and Medicare space. I am posting videos there specifically answering questions that people are asking. But here is our library of guides. And if you buy all these guides individually, you'll be paying over $200. You get all of that for free, and it's packed with goodies like this. 10 proven ways seniors can make an extra $500 to $1,000, how to maximize your Social Security benefits. Even if you're still receiving Social Security benefits, there are techniques there for you to maximize your benefits. The Big Beautiful Bill, 2,500 pages. I have distilled it into what is relevant and important for seniors to know and how it affects them in the next 4 years. And then a lot of templates and guides that can help you in your personal finance and budgeting. And here is what the community looks like. You can see there's a lot going on in there. People are engaging and posting. It's one of the best things we've done. Here's something we posted recently where we're posting 100 videos answering the top Social Security questions. It's part of our classroom library. You can see all the other things that are in there right now. And here is an example of a daily briefing where I am coming in and sharing important information about Social Security. You could be part of all of this to help you maximize your benefits. And so, as I mentioned, the best way to get access to this, I'll share that with you in a second, is to go to our page and check it out for yourself and see if this is something that you want to be a part of. I know that you are going to get your money back right away because of all the goodies and all the access that you get in the guides, in the videos, in the announcements, in the daily briefings. There is so much value and by being part of this community. So go to school.com/senior first to sign up. So guys, that is all I wanted to share with you today. We are reviewing all the questions. So if your questions was not answered today, be back here tomorrow. I will highlight some of them. And if it requires research, I will do the research, prepare an answer for you, and I'll come in ready to answer your questions. So thank you for joining me today, Tuesday, January the 20th. We'll be back here again tomorrow, January the 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern. And that is 2 p.m. Pacific time, to answer your questions and bring you the latest news and updates that can impact your retirement, your benefits, and your finances. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you for watching.